Are you looking to move to Tucson, Arizona? So whether it's the sunshine, the lifestyle, or the fact that your dollar goes a whole lot farther here than it does in Phoenix or California, you're not alone.
Tucson is one of the fastest growing communities in Arizona. And today, we're going to take you through what it looks like to live in Tucson, Arizona. The restaurants, hobbies, things to do on the weekends, sports, new projects, developments, and hiking trails. We're going to kind of talk about all that and give you a really good blink of what it would look like to live in Tucson.
And make sure you stay tuned to the end because we're going to be answering the top questions that buyers ask when they're relocating to Tucson. So you'll know exactly what to expect before making your move.
So if you're thinking about relocating to Tucson, one of the amazing things about Tucson is we have 350 days of sunshine.
That's crazy, right?
And nuts, right? And hiking, let's talk about hiking. Like, what are your favorite places in Tucson to hike?
I'm a huge fan of Tumamoc. One of my favorites. The views, the city, a mountain, all of that is just gorgeous. So peaceful at the top.
And so for the people that are watching and that don't know where that is, so the Tumamoc Hill is on the west side in the Tucson Mountains. And so it's just this iconic trail and it's paved and it's a great place to get up. And the last, quarter mile is like straight up.
It's a trek.
Yeah, you're hiking.
Yep.
And Sabino Canyon on the far east side.
Yep, that's where I grew up.
Yeah, so if you decide to go hiking in Sabino Canyon, you're hiking up into the mountains on the kind of the northeast side of town. So the hiking is great. We have the bike path, the walking path on the river.
Yep.
And so what are some of the favorite things that you love about Tucson as far as just living here?
Living here, to me, the sunsets just cannot be beat. People always talk about the Tucson sunsets, and that's amazing. I literally purchased my house because of the sunset views. That's killer.
Well, and that's funny because I think that was one of the primary things that got us to buy our house. It's kind of that west facing off the backside, and you watch the sunsets at night, and you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's like
for me, it's also just the Tucson vibe is very different than the vibe in Phoenix. So we always joke that Tucson's just a big small town. So it's got the small town vibe. Smaller town roads, pros and cons to that, but just a totally different lifestyle and different feel than it is in Phoenix.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the favorite things I love is like you go into a restaurant or a store and you always bump into somebody you know, or it's a friend of a friend of a friend of a relative, right?
Yep.
But we still have 1 million people down here in the valley, so it's not like it's a small town in Midwest, where there's it's 100,000 people.
Yeah.
But you feel connected to the community that way, and I think there's some cool things to do, and it's definitely has more of that laid back vibe than, a Scottsdale.
Yep.
St. Phillips Plaza, which is right middle of town, River and Campbell area. They've done a great job of just revitalizing that whole corridor right there.
Yeah, it's a fun spot for sure. So food, coffee shops, there's exercise places in there. It's just a really nice vibe. Outdoor seating, music.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's like one of our favorite things to do. They've got this band and this large LCD screen there in the patio at St. Phillips Plaza. And they've got live music on Friday and Saturday nights. You can go sit outside, and they've got patio heaters in the wintertime and misters in the summer. And you can sit outside and listen to music and have a cocktail or have a bite to eat with your friends and family. And then, of course, Saturday mornings, they've got the farmer's market.
Yep. La Encantada is one of my favorite hangout spots. So I don't know if you like it as much, but I love the high-end shopping, just walking around Pottery Barn and just a good vibe. Grab some coffee. There's a new coffee shop that they put in there. There's AJ's, so a lot of times we'll go for breakfast and have breakfast at AJ's and then walk through. And great stores, nice vibe.
Definitely upscale shopping. Yep. Most of those stores I've never been in. It's like I shop at Target. We have two of those.
They have raw though. You like raw?
Yeah, I do like raw. I do like sushi. Yeah, so it's a good. The other thing, Angie has a dog. Did you ever take your dog down to the farmer's market on a Saturday morning?
Yes, farmer's market on the Rito River Path. Yep.
Okay.
We go down there, take the dog. I take the dog to La Encantada also. There's some of the stores will put out a dog bowl.
So I finally have gotten a puppy. I've got a golden doodle, and it's taken me like 15 years to muster up the courage. Like I had commitment issues around this, right? But I'm debating about whether she's ready to go down to the farmer's market and meet new friends.
He copied my dog. He got a golden doodle like me.
And if you're a dog person, one of the cool things about Tucson is they got a ton of dog parks.
That's true.
So you've got 2 or 3 right on the river path. They're, big grassed-in areas, and they chase each other and do dog stuff.
Dog things. Yes,
Yeah.
there's a big one at Brandy Fenton Park. So that's one I like to go to. It's kind of separated between smaller dogs, medium dogs, larger dogs.
Yep.
It's a fun one.
Does your dog know any tricks?
Yes, of course. Lots of trick.
We're working
Not
on
from
it.
me, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I think when you think about like living in Tucson, I think, one of the cool things is, you can just be other places in 4 or 5 hours, so whether it's Las Vegas, whether it's San Diego, whether it's Phoenix, Albuquerque, if you're into traveling into Mexico, which we do a lot of, we're 40 minutes here in Mexico, and you can go down to San Carlos. It has that kind of that sea village kind of, that's a laid back place. Like, you're not going to die of high blood pressure there. It's siesta every day at 2 p.m. It's amazing. It's amazing. And it's a killer place to go diving. I'm not a diver, but I know here we have several diving schools in Tucson, and a lot of them go down to San Carlos and do diving there. But the fishing, is spectacular.
Nice.
And then 3 hours, 3.5. Well, it's if I'm driving. For most people, it'd be a 4-hour drive to Rocky Point. But if you're like that, I mean, the condos they've got there, and they've done a great job of, you're spending about 3 hours on the U.S. side of the border, and then about 45 minutes or an hour then down into Puerto Penasco, Rocky Point. But it's the condos are fantastic, the food's fantastic, the people are great, and it's just an easy drive.
Yep. Even just getting to San Diego, 6 hours. Las Vegas, 7 hours. So you kind of get that small town feel, but you get the bigger city amenities, and you're still close to everything.
Yeah, love it. I think one of the things they've done a great job of is revitalizing our downtown.
Yeah, true.
So I think, if you're a foodie, I know that we got rated by a national magazine for gastronomy. If you're a foodie,
clearly he is not at all.
I am a foodie.
You are.
I like mac
absolutely
and
not.
cheese just as much as the next guy.
Yep.
If you're into food and you really like, that's kind of your jam. Tucson's got some incredible restaurants, and the Mexican influence, the Hispanic culture, Latino culture is amazing. So if you're into those kind of foods, there's just killer, and taco trucks galore.
All over. Yep. El Charro downtown's one of my favorites. I love that.
In fact, last Sunday we went over to El Charro up on the northeast side. And same thing, Sunday morning brunch, you go in, they have open air patios, you're sitting there, there's a guy playing the guitar and he's singing in English and in Spanish, and you just sit there and have a glass of wine and let the day drift away.
Yep. Cup Cafe at Club Congress.
That's true.
Bloody Mary bar on a Sunday.
They have an entire
so
bar made for Bloody Marys.
Yep,
I mean,
I
it's
love
like a
it.
buffet. Like, the entire breakfast is inside the glass. It's incredible. Like, it's ridiculous.
Meat,
Yeah.
cheese, pickles, all of it.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Yeah. So the downtown is super cool, and I think we shot a video a couple weeks ago, down in the Micardo district, and there's an area there that called the Connex, and they've got these containers, these storage containers. They've converted into shops and bars and food. So it's just super cool. The walkability down there and some of the kind of the more eccentric stuff is kind of cool.
Yeah, a lot of local what do you call them?
Jewelry?
Jewelry, but like, what's the person that?
A jeweler.
Jewelers?
Jewelers.
Yeah, have shops in there.
People that make jewelry.
Yeah, you can go down there, you can get coffee, walk around, look at the shops. All the local stuff is really nice.
And then, of course, there's 4th Avenue.
Yes, 4th Avenue.
The
4th
iconic
Avenue
4th
Street
Avenue.
Fair.
And it's super cool. So, the University of Arizona, with 55, 60,000 kids right in the middle of town, and just west, the University Boulevard ends right at the front gates of U of A. And then if you come back down University, you end up at 4th Avenue.
Yep.
And 4th Avenue is very eclectic. If you like just that alternative stores and restaurants and, the stores where they have throwback clothes, what do they call that? I don't know.
Vintage.
That's, yeah.
Yep.
Super cool. If you like into that and bars and music and kind of that nightlife,
Yep.
You know, the 4th Avenue, definitely the kids that go to college really enjoy that as being so close to the university.
Yeah, for sure. A restaurant down there that I love is the Monica. That one's really fun. And then they just built a place that has pickleball, so you can go and you can get food and drinks.
That
and
is
play
a cool
pickleball.
place. That's right. So 4th Avenue runs into downtown. It's only a couple blocks, right? And they've built this new restaurant and bar down there, and they've got indoor pickleball courts and outdoor pickleball courts. They've got TV so you can sit and watch sports if you want to play pickleball. So we had a team event, and we were all playing pickleball. And, of course, the younger guys challenged me to a game. And
we're a very competitive group.
we're a competitive group, and my mind is 25 and my feet are 55. So, I went home with a few bandages that day. But the old man gave them a run for their money. But it's a great place just to go, like, for events like that, just to go spend time and, check it out.
Team building events, family events, friends, happy hours, all that.
One of the top things about Tucson that people may or may not know is Tucson is designated as one of the top cycling destinations or places to live if you like to cyclist in the United States.
Yeah, so we have the loop that goes all around town. It's actually 137 miles, and it's all traffic free. So you can ride 137 miles all around town, no traffic, so nice and safe.
Yeah, and it's all interconnected. It's an amazing thing. And I think one of the big events that we have every year around cycling that's super popular, and we've ridden in that as a fundraiser before, is the Tour de Tucson.
Yeah, it's great. It draws people from literally all over the country.
And it's super cool because they've got, I think they've got 4 different distances of races, and they shut down the city streets, and it's like a festival, cycling festival for a weekend. And you have the top cyclists in the country that'll come and compete, for the long races. But they've got the shorter ones that's very family friendly, and people line up along the streets with signs, and people lining up the streets telling beat to pedal. That was a big hill. That was a really big hill. I got tired. Like, I was trying to draft, but I couldn't even draft. I was super slow.
So if you're a cyclist, you will absolutely love it here in Tucson.
I don't know if people know this, but little fact. We have the southernmost ski resort in the United States here in Tucson.
I didn't know it was called that.
True story. Yep.
So a quick drive up to Mount Lemmon so you can get some snow, get some extra views. Cookie cabin up there is amazing. You can ride the ski lift.
So how long does it take you to get from your house to the top of Mount Lemmon?
It's about 45 minutes.
So 45 minutes, you're at 9,900 feet in elevation. It's, 35, 40 degrees cooler than it is in Tucson this time of the year.
Yep.
And in the winter, it snows, and you can go tobogganing and... No?
People don't do that anymore.
Sure they do.
No.
Use trash can lids. You turn them upside down, and you get in your trash can lid, and you ride down the hill.
People ski these days.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, you can toboggan if you want to.
That's crazy. 45 minutes, and you get snow and pine trees, and
it's super beautiful.
Escape the heat in the winter or in the summer.
One of my favorite things to do, there's actually a trail that runs right off of the highway that actually wraps around the backside of Winter Haven up there, and it's a great hike. The views.
It's called Summer Haven.
Did I say Winter Haven?
Yes.
Winter Haven's in Tucson. Summer Haven's up on the mountain, right? They need different names. Summer Haven up on Mount Lemmon, and it's a cool hike. And you're kind of going along these cliffs, and you're looking out over the mountains back towards Tucson. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And the temperature is so much different, right? So if you're wanting a nice hike on a Saturday morning, you can jump in the car or the truck and run up to the mountain, go hike for a couple hours. And then, of course, you can't hike without a good reward. So the cookie cabin.
And cookies are literally the size of a plate.
They're like a pizza. They're amazing. Yeah.
It's a great local spot. There's always a line there. You get cookies and pizza.
I can almost smell the cookies right now.
So good.
They're so good. They're so good. They're so good. So good. So what other things about living in Tucson, that people that have never been here or never lived here would find enjoyable?
I think really the relaxed lifestyle is just one of the things that stands out. People will say stuff like, oh, we have this event. What do we go to? And it's like, okay, you're in Tucson. You really can get away with whatever. You'll always see people in jeans. No matter where you go, there will be somebody in jeans.
Yeah.
It just has a very relaxed vibe.
And I think one of the things that's a huge attraction for a lot of people is, because of the weather, is golf. We've got some amazing golf courses down here. So whether that's, up in Stone Canyon, whether it's Dove Mountain, we're getting, we put on an annual golf tournament for women that are battling ovarian cancer. We do that up at Tucson National, and it's a beautiful course. It's one of the more mature courses. It's got a lot of trees and a lot of grass. It's not a desert course.
Yep.
And of course, then there's, on top of the golfing, you've got the casinos,
Yeah, so you get good restaurants at the casinos, fun activities there. They have a lot of good concerts.
I have not eaten at the steakhouse out at the casino, but
Have you golfed there?
No, but U of A, that's their golf,
Yep.
the golf course for the men's U of A team. And I've heard that steakhouse is, and from a guy on our team who's an absolute foodie nut. And he's like, that is the best steak in town. I don't know if it is or not, but it's pretty good, I guess. So we'll have to go check it out.
Yep. So other golf courses up by the mountains, you have Ventana Canyon, La Paloma. Did you know I played golf in high school?
You were a golfer, huh?
I was on the team. That was a long time ago, but
Now I know what you want to
it
bet
wasn't
me.
as cool back then
Well,
as it is now.
it's a thing now. It's a thing, yeah. And I think one of the things about living in Tucson too, depending on the lifestyle that you're looking for, whether you like to run to the beach in Mexico, whether you want to be able to jump on a plane and be in Las Vegas in 45 minutes. I mean, you're up and down in 45 minutes if you want to go to Vegas for a weekend. Or whether you want to go up to Phoenix and watch professional sports. So whether that's, hockey or football, professional basketball, they've got it all up in Phoenix, but you get to come home, and the cost of living, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And I think that's a big one, for people that live in, and we've gotten a lot of people over the last couple of years that have moved in because of that.
Yeah, for sure. So if you kind of break it down by locations and price, Foothills is obviously a really popular area that's higher end home. So you're up more around 700,000, gets up into the millions. You can get a couple that are multi-million, but that's definitely a higher end part of town.
Yep.
Oro Valley is another one that's a little bit higher. So on the low end, I have a client right now looking in there, and he's looking around 450,000. So you can still get 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a garage. Some have a pool around 450. That's in good condition.
Yeah.
Most of them need a little bit of updating at that price, but it's kind of a basic entry level type price there.
And I know stay tuned, one of the things we're going to do in one of our next videos is we're actually going to do a comparison between a couple of our suburbs. I think the next one we're going to do is between Oro Valley and Marana.
Yep.
And why wouldn't somebody would maybe choose Oro Valley over Marana or vice versa.
Yep.
So we'll get into that a little bit because they both have got amazing things about them, just depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah. So Marana has a little bit more of a rural vibe in certain areas, a rural vibe. And then price-wise, you can get in the 300,000s in some of the homes. If you're wanting bigger lots, they have a lot that's kind of outside of the cookie cutters. People want multiple acres. If they want horse property, they can get it out there. And then it's kind of mixed. You also have a lot of new construction, so 3, 4, even 5-bedroom homes. Nice thing there is you're close to the freeway, so there's a lot of easy access if you're going to Phoenix or working downtown, stuff like that. So you're kind of out a little bit, but still have easy access to downtown and to Phoenix.
I think so many times we think about, people, we're an inbound destination, in Southern Arizona. People are moving here from other places. I like the term digital nomad. That's
great,
just
huh?
cool. Like if I could change my title, I'd like to be a digital nomad.
I have sold several houses to people doing that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, that's somebody who can work anywhere in the world because their job allows it because they're working remotely. So you stop and think about it. People from California, we have such an influx from people from California the last 7 years, whether it's Tucson or Phoenix. And if you look at what $800,000 will buy you in some of those cities, in Southern California, all the way up to San Francisco, versus what $800,000 will buy you here, I mean, it's night and day difference. Holy cow.
Yeah, a client I have right now is selling a house in California. He's buying a house here around 400,000 to 500,000, and then he's also buying a second home in Florida. So that's something we've seen quite a bit of people
Pull the equity out of his home in
Pull
California.
the equity out there, sell it, buy cash here and in another place. So we got him hooked up with a real estate agent in Florida and take it from there.
Love that. Yeah, I think, if you're outdoorsy, I think that's one of the cool things about where we live. It just because I think one of the challenges for some other place in the country, Oregon, Washington, there's a lot of rain, a lot of days where it's going to rain every afternoon. It's going to mess up my hair.
Yeah.
That was definitely a deciding factor of me living here.
Messed up a little bit today, by the
I
way.
see that. I didn't put a high shine on, but that's okay. And then, for people maybe that are moving, that are looking for maybe not being in town, maybe looking for something a little bit more rural, Catalina, kind of going up towards the town of Oracle, being able to buy some property that has a little bit of land with it, and horses and dogs and chickens.
Yeah, so you can have chickens out there.
I
It's
do
a
not.
beautiful, beautiful homes up there.
I used to have this neighbor that had a rooster. I am so happy he sold his home and moved. that blessed thing would start at 4:00 in the morning. Yes.
Vail is another area that has a lot of homes that have bigger lots, and kind of that. There's a lot of really neat homes there that are 3,500 square feet, 3,000, 3,500, and just kind of that southwestern vibe on a larger lot. So you can get kind of Foothills style homes in Vail, and you get a lot more for your money out there.
Yeah, and I think, one of the cool things about Tucson is, we're starting to get a little more progressive with some of the development, some of the things maybe that a Scottsdale would have, maybe Gilbert would have. And, we're the redevelopment that's going on at the Foothills Mall. And I think there's another video that I kind of outlined a lot of the developments that are going on here in Tucson. But it's super cool because it's going to be all commercial. It's going to be kind of that, what you would find more of a downtown Scottsdale, where it's got a water park and hotels and shops and stores and movie theater, but then it's got residential above it. Yeah. And that's going to be a neat project for the northwest side of town. Yeah,
there's going to be a big grassy area there where they can do concerts, and you kind of get that Phoenix Scottsdale vibe, but you're still within the small town area of Tucson.
And then of course you've got the iconic Old Tucson.
We had a big market down there this weekend. A lot of vendors and things like that, so people can still go. And Halloween's coming up, so they have the Nightfall event over there, which is fun.
Yeah.
Take the kids.
And of course, the iconic Sonoran Desert. One of the beautiful things about living here is we have a desert that's unique to southern Arizona, northern Mexico, right?
Yep.
And so if you like kind of that rugged, and you're outdoorsy and you like to hike or dirt bike and all those kind of things, there's just some really cool areas where you can go out and RV, and if that's kind of your jam.
Yeah, so Saguaro National Monument East, and then on the west side also. The west is a different look, kind of that reddish color dirt, just a different vibe. You're so close to the mountains. Driving through there as you drive out to Old Tucson is gorgeous.
Beautiful drive.
Oh, so nice.
On the west side of the mountains there.
Yep.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Well, I think we've kind of covered, why somebody would want to move here. Plus, the people are amazing.
Right, we're here.
I know. We're nice. We love coffee. We love St. Phillips Plaza. My dog won't behave, but outside that, it is. It's a cool community feel. We get people from all over the world and all over the country that come here, and it's kind of this melting pot.
So the other type of living that's really getting more and more popular is the condos. There's a lot of condo communities and condo developments that are going on downtown.
Yes, there are. And I think the other thing that the city has done is additional dwelling units, as they've relaxed on the permitting. So if you've got a piece of property that's large enough and you want to build a guest house or a mother-in-law suite, that's one of the cool things about Southern Arizona, that they've really changed their stance and have been much more accepting of that.
That's really big down around the university. We have a lot of parents that their kids are going to the U of A and they reach out to buy an investment property so their kid can maybe live in the guest house and then they rent out the main house, or vice versa.
Yeah, we've got some friends that are from Mexico, and they've got 3 kids that are going to the U of A, and so rather than putting all 3 kids up in the dorms, they went and bought, a home. They put all the kids through college and then turn it into a rental or investment property when they're done.
Yep, I'm actually looking for one for my daughter right now.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. We told people to stay tuned to the end for the most frequently asked questions about moving to Tucson. So we're going to take you through some of those questions. Angela?
Okay, question number 1. Pete Peterson. Is Tucson a good place to live currently?
It is amazing. It's an amazing place to live.
Okay.
You want a better answer than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, affordability is fantastic. Drivability is solid. Easy access to other major metros. If you're into college sports, we're U of A basketball nuts. So we We love following U of A basketball. And you're only an hour and a half to 2 hours away from all the major sporting events or that kind of a thing. So it's just cool. And then you get to come home and you're not having to pay the high price to be right next door to it.
Okay. Next question is kind of the average, most common price point. So anywhere from around 300,000 to 800,000 is pretty solid.
Yep. And then if you're looking for luxury housing, that's when you're going to get up, into Finger Rock and Ventana Canyon, right up against the mountains. Then you can get into the multi-million dollars. So if you're looking for luxury, we also have that.
Yes, we do. Next question would be, how much just kidding. Sorry. Skip that. Is Tucson good for retirement?
Oh my gosh. We are a retirement mecca. If you want to retire, come to Tucson. It's amazing. The golfing is great. Beautiful weather. It's easy on the joints. Drivability is great. You don't have 8-lane highways running through your backyard. And I think a lot of people really find that attractive. They want to have a little bit of a more small town feeling, but they still want the amenities. And I think Tucson's like that sweet spot.
So for retirement, Saddlebrook is a really popular area. We have Saddlebrook up north towards Catalina,
Sure.
as you had mentioned. So that's a really great area that includes all the amenities, restaurants and activity centers and movies and gyms and all of that. So you kind of its own little community right there.
100%.
55 and older. And then Green Valley is more south, down by kind of past towards the casinos, down towards the border a little bit more. So Green Valley is really popular. A lot of those are 55 and older.
Yep.
Great amenities for people that want to be active, golf courses, pickleball, tennis courts, all of that.
Yep. If you want that active lifestyle and you're a senior, there's a lot of selections. There's Vistoso Village, and then you've got the retirement community up in Marana if you want to be closer access up to Phoenix, or maybe there's doctors and those kind of things. There's great retirement communities on the far northwest side as well.
Yeah, and they're really nice because they're all the doctors and amenities and everything it's all close by, so people don't have to drive all the way from Saddlebrook into Tucson or Green Valley into Tucson for doctors or anything. Everything's right there.
Yep, love it.
Next question is,
hit me with the next question, Ange.
should I buy or rent in Tucson?
Oh my gosh. If you have the ability to buy, it's crazy to rent.
Agreed.
They talk about, well, interest rates. Interest rates now are between 6 and 7% while we're shooting this video. And you're like, well, but during the pandemic it was 2.5 or 3%. Those days are gone and they're not coming back.
No.
Right. So if you look at the average interest rate over the last 30 years, it's 7.65%. So we're below that, right? And so 100%, you're paying 100% interest if you're renting.
Right.
When you look at it from that perspective, every dollar is interest because you're never going to own it. So the sooner you can get into home ownership, if you can afford it, you start building equity. You get the tax write-offs and on the interest, and it's a great place. And our annual appreciation on average over the last 30 years has been about 3.5% year over year. So it's a really good place to start building wealth.
Yeah, and for price points that we have, if you can get into a home around 300,000, that's not something that people can do in Phoenix. So lower price point, easier to get into real estate, purchase a home or multiple homes if you're looking to grow an investment portfolio. What's the number one sign or What's the number one sign of
You're
wealth?
number one in my book.
What's the number one sign of wealth?
Oh, home ownership.
There you go. Perfect.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the number one differentiator in people's wealth is home ownership. So yeah, if you can buy, let's go.
Yeah, so when it comes to purchasing versus renting, you can get into a home for just about the same amount of money per month if you're purchasing versus renting. So,
And that doesn't take in the tax.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so rent prices obviously have gone up as the market shifted a little bit. So if you can purchase for the similar monthly payment, there's a lot of first-time buyer programs and solar programs and things like that that can really help people get into a home. So you can purchase with zero money down with some of these programs. So reach out if you're considering it and you want to know something, some different programs and things like that you can get into a home for.
Yeah, and I think
money.
there's so many consumers that just don't know the government wants people to have home ownership. They want affordability for people to get into homes, and they've helped the lending industry come up with different programs that allow people to get into homes for 3% down, 0% down.
Yep.
You know, we've got builders that we work with, new home builders that we work with, that have programs that will give $10,000 or $15,000 to the consumer towards their closing costs and down payment.
Yeah.
So, you know, if your limiting belief is I don't have enough money saved up, what I would say is go research that out, because there's a lot of options available.
Even for investors, there's some great loan programs right now where if people don't have great credit or maybe they're self-employed, we can get them into loans that allow them to qualify based on the amount of money that they're going to be receiving for rent. So great options. You just have to have a really good real estate company or team that
And a great lender
knows
partner.
That knows these programs and can help.
Love that. Any more questions?
That's it. That's the main ones that we've gotten recently.
Okay, so here's a scoop. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Tucson, Arizona, this is Angie. I'm Pete. We're with the Stratton Real Estate Group. We're nationally ranked, locally rooted, one of the top teams in Southern Arizona. We would love to be of service to you and your family and help you either sell a home, or if you're thinking about buying, we'd love to help you figure that out as well.
Yes, and we want to keep teaching you about Tucson. So subscribe, make sure you stay tuned, watch our videos for more community tours and more information about things that are going on and all the growth in Tucson, stuff like that.
And if you haven't seen the video about the Mercado district that we shot, you got to go look at that, because there's actually the place where Angie trips and we kept it in there. It's freaking hilarious. You got to go look. Just check it out.
I saw it yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh.
It was so funny. So funny.
Yep.
Angie made me promise to behave today and not say anything really silly.
But our page is called Tucson Real and Raw. So that's the raw part you get. It's
She's the
not
real
all
part.
fluff.
I'm the raw part. I guess. I don't know. Okay. I think that's a wrap for today.
Okay. Sounds good. See you next time.
Bye.